What's up, guys? Welcome back. And today I'm going to be going into some material of Dodson's, and I want to discuss really on, as we're going through this process that we've been doing lately here, which is using our robotic affirmations, using our positive self-talk, rewriting that script, rewriting that narrative and that story. And as that's informing our new internal representations, as that's informing our new, the physiology, like the sense of the bodily sense of these things being true for us, these are some things that are going to help cement this into reality. And people always talk about no need for action, all that. And, I've said many times on the channel that, I really do believe in walking by faith, that naturally you are going to be expressing this new version of yourself, these new qualities, this new way of being, seeing yourself in the world around you with your actions. You're going to be acting in a new way, a new behavior. That is what is going to be the difference. You're looking at reality through a new viewpoint, and somebody with a new viewpoint is going to act in a different way. So I have some notes here. I'm going to actually read an excerpt from his book here, and we're going to discuss the ways in which you can do this and develop this as you are going about this practice. So So he says here, if you are a beginner in conscious creation, or if you have a strong belief in physical reality, or believe imagination is not real, one of the most limiting beliefs you can have, you will have to ground your new belief in physical reality, midwife the ethereal energy into form. In this case, we'd be using the belief in physical reality not as a limitation, but as a resource. That's what I want to express to you guys. It doesn't have to be a limitation. We are physical beings. The spiritual and the physical is one thing. The way that we transcend the physical, if that's even, whatever that is by leaning into it, by resisting the physical. That is just going to create more and more resistance for us in any capacity. So not as a limitation, but as a resource. You do this by taking physical action that represents, symbolizes, or demonstrates this new belief. To do this thoroughly, get out a sheet of paper and answer the following questions. So there are 5 questions here. 1, what would someone be doing who really believes that it's already true? 2, what would someone be doing who is certain that this desire is a reality? 3, what would someone do who is already living in this reality? 4, what actions did you see yourself do in your imagination, and how could you copy these actions into physical reality? 5, what desires will you have when that one is fulfilled? So, by acting as if something's already true, dressing that way, going to the places that you would, getting things you would, taking part in events that you would, by making it your belief, you ground it in physical reality. You have to come as close as possible to the real thing for the real thing to manifest. Even if you role play it, you are training your body, mind, consciousness to receive it, so that it will not be a shock when it actually arrives. However, the idea of acting as if is one step removed from total reality. Don't act as if, but as the new belief or reality. So some very key insights here and this is what I always say about meeting the universe halfway, in the context of, I can share with you guys a little success story of my past. Several years ago, I was living in LA at the time, and I really wanted to kind of meet more people that were in the, let's say YouTube, I wanted to meet other YouTubers. I wanted to make, I had an interest in creating. At the time, I was doing photography, I was doing, various different things, and I wanted to meet more people that were creative, more people that were actually really putting their creativity out into the world, right? And that were actually popular. So I actually I put out an intention. I was I want to meet a famous YouTuber and become friends with a famous YouTuber. So I was out one day, on Santa Monica, if you guys are familiar with LA, 3rd Street Promenade, it's a really, it's outdoor, there's all these shops, and it's a lot of people walk. It's really nice weather, really beautiful a lot of the time, a lot of the year round. And so I was walking through there one day. I can't remember if I was out shopping or what I was, but I see this guy, and I see him talking to some girls, and I see the way that they're interacting, they're kind of having fun, and there's just some kind of good energy going on around there. And then I notice that he actually has a vlogging camera with him. So I go up to him, I strike up a conversation. I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but I was like, hey, like, what's up? You know, are you out here like doing some vlogging or what have you? And we got talking, and it turns out he was this famous YouTuber, over 1 million subscribers, and he was doing prank videos out on Santa Monica 3rd Street Promenade. So, you know, we're kind of talking and we're vibing, and we're actually like kind of, you know, just spitballing back and forth about different things that we've been up to and what he's up to. He was from Australia and visiting in town. And so there were some different events that were going on. And also I expressed to him too, like I have a background in, you know, creating videos and stuff. I was like, yo, like if you need, I'd be down to help you film like one of these prank videos or whatever. So we end up getting together and I filmed like several prank videos for him. Had just like a good time. You know, we actually met some other big kind of influencers when we were hanging out. There were some other models from Australia that we met, and kind of just like one thing, you know, kind of transpired into another. I went to a few different events with him that he was invited to actually because of his following and because of his, I guess you could say his influence and all that. And so I ended up going to this after party for VidCon too, which is like this exclusive after party where, you know, it's like I saw like Logan Paul and all these types of people over there, and there was just, you know, that manifested itself. I ended up hanging out with him for quite a bit that summer. He was in town for, I believe, like the majority of the summer, and we did like a bunch of different stuff together, right? We went to events, we went to parties, and so he was my friend during that summer. I think after that he went back to Australia, and then I know he was traveling around. And still, even up to recently, I've been in touch with him. I'm probably gonna get in touch with him again today because I'm thinking about going to VidCon, which is in Anaheim, and I'm thinking about going over there. It's like a YouTube conference and all that. So, you know, that is one thing where it's like, okay, what would I be acting like? What would I be doing? Where would I be going? I'd be putting myself into these situations where I at least have the capacity to meet somebody who is a YouTuber or somebody who is influential, and then I would be behaving in a certain way. You know, I was like, you'd go up and strike up a conversation, like be confident, don't be, you know, going in later here, Frederick Dodson talks about like this needy energy, and the needy energy, of course, when it comes to people, is often something that is obviously not going to help build connections with people. But the needy energy, when it comes to your goals as well, is just repellent toward whatever it is that you are doing. He says here that if you get too serious or needy, don't even begin this process. Neediness is the opposite of creative flow. If you need something or someone in order to be happy, you are not going to get it. Instead of needing it, love it. And I would hazard a guess that a lot of the people that are, you know, kind of get on here leaving these comments, whether it's on my videos or whether it's in these subreddits or any of these online places where they're leaving comments, I would say that, yeah, you know, you might be doing the robotic affirmations, you might be doing the visualization or the scripting or whatever it is that you are doing, but if you are coming at it with this needy energy, it's not going to work. Kind of like what he says here. Even if you're going out, taking all the actions. And that's why, you know, people like Neville or people of these things, they're like, oh, you don't need to take action. Well, in my opinion, what is really meant by this is that you don't want to be taking this needy, desperate action. You want to be taking a detached action. You want to be doing the things, though, embodying it. That is the true, ultimately, becoming a new identity is embodying that new identity. And yeah, affirmations are going to be a great tool to get there, but you're also going to have to, again, meet the universe halfway. Do the things that person would do. Act in the way that that person would act. See it in your mind's eye, and you can use your affirmations to help you internalize those new representations that you're building, that you are capable, that you are confident, that you are somebody who is deserving of this thing, or somebody that it is possible for you at the very least. You know, if it's something that you struggle with, making the jump and kind of segueing it to make it more and more believable and acceptable to the conscious mind, it can be very, very valuable as a kind of way to bridge the gap. I've gotten some comments recently about, oh, like, you know, I don't feel like I'm there yet. So it's like, well, I'm beginning to become more and more comfortable with this. I'm beginning to accept this idea that it's possible for me. You know, slowly, more and more, as every day that goes by, I'm seeing myself as being more strong. I'm seeing myself as being more capable. I'm seeing myself as attracting better people into my life. I'm seeing myself as being better at this skill, as being more and more like close to this goal. And so, you know, to reiterate these things, it's like, where would you be going? You know, would you be going to let's say that you want to meet, let's say friends that are active and pursuing an active hobbies, active lifestyle. Well, they're not necessarily going to be at, at a nightclub. They might be, but maybe if you go to a hot yoga class, or maybe if you go to, out here in Scottsdale, they have these like running clubs. So maybe you want to put yourself in a position that is in alignment with what that version of yourself is going for. And so this is just something that is like, it seems to me like on one hand, it may seem obvious, but it's very important to kind of just identify and become this version, start being this version. He said, act as if, and act as the new belief, as the new reality. What actions do you see yourself doing? If you're an author, then you're going to be writing that book. You're going to be putting in the hours to write those pages. You're going to give yourself a goal. Okay, I'm going to write, 200 words in the morning at this time. I'm going to every single day, I'm going to make sure I at least write 5 pages in my new book. And then he says, what actions did you see yourself do in imagination? So when you're doing your visualization practice, or you were doing your robotic affirmations and you were naturally receiving these types of visuals or these types of mental representations that you are now implementing with your affirmations, you are going to cement that and say, how could I copy these in physical reality? How could I start being more and more like this strong, capable person? How is that represented in my body language? How is that represented in my tone of voice? How is that represented in my mannerism, my tone of speech, the cadence of the words that come from my mouth? And my attention, where am I placing my attention? Am I focusing on the things that aren't working? Am I focusing on all the positive aspects? Am I focusing on what is it that I'm focusing on? Where is it that my attention is going? Where is the habit of my attention going to most often? Because again, that is what is drawing more of that into your reality, into our reality. That's how it works. Attention. Where is your attention going? Where attention goes, energy flows. What desires will you have once that one is fulfilled? Well, as a byproduct of creating this book, or as a byproduct of having this new friend group, or as a byproduct of having this new job or this new position, what else is going to be new in my life? I'm going to be surrounded by this circumstance now. This is going to be something for me to do, right? And it's really valuable. I mean, even Neville Goddard himself has said stuff like he would set the table, right? That is taking an action. He would say stuff like he would. There's something about, I think it was Neville, or it might have been somebody else, but they talk about like buying a different size dress, right? Say you're trying to lose weight, and then you buy the size smaller dress that you are looking to fit into. These are all products of looking through that new viewpoint, being that new version of yourself. And all of these things are going to cement it into reality. And so these are all really helpful, like supplemental things that you can do to go along with your robotic affirmation practice, or if you are, scripting or visualizing, SATs, pure technique, whatever technique you're engaging in, these are really, really going to start cementing it, embodying it. We are physical beings. It's going to bring it into reality, make it that much more real to our logical mind, to our bodily awareness, to that our sense of being as a physical being on this planet. And yeah, it's really going to help. He says, like, people that are beginners, I think this could go for everybody. Even if you're used to doing this type of stuff, if you have your own process and you're experiencing success, then by all means continue with what you're doing. Don't fix what doesn't need to be. Don't fix it if it's not broken, right? But if you are, wanting more kind of movement or wanting other things to try to do along with your affirmations, I can't recommend this type of technique enough. This is something that I always talk about. I always get questions like this. People are like, oh, well, Neville said it doesn't do anything. Well, Neville did do things, though. That's the thing that I want you guys to understand. In his mind, in his phrasing, in his language, he doesn't describe it as doing things because he feels like it was inspired. He feels like it was aligned. He feels like it was just, he was like led to do those things. But another way that you can do it is, this is another angle you can come at it with, is, okay, now I start taking the actions. I start acting as if, I start embodying that version, and now you're going to start to see more and more movement. So with that being said, guys, much love as always. Drop this video with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.